Yeah, boy.
I am so excited to have you here today. This is Perry Porter, a good friend of mine, a short friend of mine. And before we even get into things, I really want to talk about how we met.
Yeah.
You were at the 2 for 2 factory in the Arts Factory?
Arts Factory.
Yep. And you were like the mysterious type for sure, because I don't think you said a word. Jesus did all the talking.
Yeah.
He's like, Perry is like a genius. He's a painter. He's a musician. He was in Atlanta. His music was in Atlanta. And I was like, okay. And I don't think you were just like, just mad chilling.
I'd be reserved sometimes.
No, yeah. And I get that now for sure. At the time I was like, no worries. But I remember I had followed you and I was like, I don't even know if he really knew who I was, to be honest, after that night. But I'm going to tell you this. You don't know anything about this, but Dustin, when it was his birthday and he had his thing at his house, I was like, you were in that group chat. And I was like, okay, it would be really cool if Perry came. And also Dustin's like my neighbor. So like I walked down. I walked down the street. And you came late, but I was like thinking the whole time, Perry's not here. But when you did arrive, I was like, yes. I was like, thank God, bro. Like I can finally like talk to him, And we ended up talking like a lot for a lot of the night. And then I told you, I was like, you should follow me back on Instagram. And you're like, oh, I wasn't? I'm like, yeah. But
I was like, oh shit, we have talked a few times on the internet.
Totally. Yeah. So, and then since then, I feel like we've been friends. We've been hanging out. We've worked together a few times, which I'm very grateful for, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I like that we had a chance. Like, I feel like you and I, since you've lived here, it hasn't been a long time, but you and I have like definitely done a lot together and worked together. And even like this interview, I'm so happy that we got to get it in.
It's really like the last 6 months, I would say.
Really, like, and we worked a lot. I feel like in comparison to other people that I've known forever, like we worked a lot. So yes, I want to welcome Perry, my homie.
Ooh, what's up, y'all, right there?
Yeah, bro. Like, first I want to ask, like, I feel like I know a little bit about you. I know you're from Tacoma.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I guess, like, I want to know, like, were you always, like, the traveling type? Like, with your music? Did the music make you travel? Like, how was that?
I would say that comes from my mother. Like, she wasn't big on, like, name brand stuff, so we never, like, got spoiled on that part. But we always traveled. And I never really realized that until I got much older. But it was like we were on a plane at least 3-4 times a year. Either if it was like going back to the Bay Area, seeing family, if we went to some trip to Florida or something. My mom just always wanted to be out. Even now, she lives in an RV.
No. And she just travels.
She just travels, know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we always bonded. The rest of my family ain't really like that, but yeah.
Oh, so it was just like you and your mom who liked traveling.
Oh, yeah. My mom.
That is so sweet.
That's how I ended up in Vegas. She moved out here first, and I helped her move.
You told me that.
And I was like, oh, it's cool out here.
That is so sweet.
And I moved here, and then like 2 months later, she got her RV and dipped.
So you're like, so in a sense, like you're really close to your mom.
Oh yeah,
I totally feel that because I told you like when we first like talked that like your art is so it's very feminine, like even the way like you display women, it's like so pretty and flowy and light. And I'm just like, I was thinking, I'm like, does he have a lot of sisters? Like,
I got 6 nieces. 2
oh yeah,
sisters.
Really?
Yeah,
okay, another nieces.
A lot of women.
Absolutely. Well, first, were you doing art when you were younger?
Yeah.
Were you doing the same type of art that you were doing when you were younger?
Kind of.
Okay.
In a sense, like even back to my mom, I grew up in like a really gang culture kind of family and stuff. So my mom was really hell bent on like me not following that path. So she always had me in some art things, Boy Scouts, basketball, football. She bought me a sewing machine because I wanted to learn how to make clothes like Pharrell and shit.
Yeah, shout out Pharrell.
Like, so my mom always just did random shit. So I was like always drawing. I used to sell drawings of like Dragon Ball Z to the kids at school and shit. I'd make up fake Pokemon cards.
Like when you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was just doing all like said. I'd make fake Pokemon cards. My brother would make the rules, and then we would sell them for like $5.
That was cool.
You know, we like had a little crew that would play it. It was just always
had like a little hustle.
Yep.
100%.
Through the music, I started getting into actually like painting, but I just always kind of doodled in school and shit.
So would you say your family is like more of like a art family or business? Because I'm seeing a little hustle there, but
definitely like more street hustles.
Oh, okay.
They didn't understand no art stuff. I was the first one to really put that.
You're the first one. Okay, so was that okay? Like, think about you when you were really young. Like, was that weird to be the only one?
It was strange, but like, say I had a really cool. My mom doesn't even really care for rap like that.
Okay,
so she likes my art stuff. Doesn't really care for music stuff. You know, like she's never been a big rapper. But like she knew it was keeping me out of the streets, so she was just all for it and stuff.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
Like all my other family members, they were like, "Oh, he's just a weirdo," so we just gotta embrace his just weirdness. But like I always knew I was kind of.
Was it like he's a weirdo, but like I love him?
It was a little both.
Okay, yeah, but he's kind of weird for real.
Like, he's weird, I love him. I need to know what's up. Like, why you want to skateboard and do all this white boy shit for?
Oh no,
you know?
That's so funny. So like now.
Yeah. Oh, now they love it.
I'm sure.
Especially to the point where like I have a cousin that like he has this chip on his shoulder when it comes to white people. So like if they have a conversation about like art and shit, he's like, "Oh well, my cousin's like this contemporary artist." You know what I'm saying? I'm cultured and shit, so he loves it. He'll eat that shit. You know? So
yeah.
Cool, you know, and my nieces, they get to see it like. They've only seen me like this, you know. They've only known the uncle who's traveled and done art and music. So, like, my oldest niece, she left Washington. She lives in Arizona. She's, like, living her life. That's how we bond. We talk about traveling together and stuff. So
that's really sweet. So, how long are you in your music career? Maybe artist career.
Like, professionally?
Yes.
I would say probably like 8 years. 2016. I was 15, 16 when I saved came.
7 years. That is crazy, by the way, that 2016 is 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like 4 years ago. That is so sick.
Wild. But I would say I started taking music serious probably 2012.
Okay.
2012,
So like what happened between like, you know, you started music and now, I don't know if it's new, but you've been selling merch and stuff. I know you've been selling Pokemon cards since you were a kid. Like, was that always in your mind when you were like starting music? Like, I want to create other stuff to sell.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Create a business off of it.
And a lot of that came from just necessity, really. Like even just painting. I drew a lot as a kid, and then I stopped because of like sports and all that other stuff, and just because I didn't know anybody else who like really drew and shit. But when I started doing music, I needed someone to do my album art. I needed someone to do some merch and everything. So like, just being on the internet, I'd be like, man, I should just try it. So I just bought watercolor one day. It was like 2014. It was like, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out. And then that became a thing. You know, it's like I need to figure out money here. It's just ideas of not trying to work for the man.
Yeah. So you're saying 2014 you started watercoloring?
Yeah.
Okay, so like what were you doing before?
Just music and in and out of school. I was trying to go to school.
So painting wasn't a thing.
Wow. Not like it wasn't a thing. I would just kind of draw every now and then in like studio sessions.
Yeah.
And then the homies be like, oh, he can draw. That's tight. You know, I like draw a tattoo design for someone every now and then. Like
totally.
I was trying to go to school to do animation.
Okay.
And it's just like, nah.
What's not it?
Not for me. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like long hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of technicalities to it. Not very free flowing. Yeah. But one really cool thing about you is you're a rapper and a painter, but you also do the same thing, like at the same time.
Yeah.
When you go out, and I haven't seen it yet. I don't think like in person, you doing both, because something always happened. But how did that come up? Because I feel like you keep putting in like, let me put this in and that in and that in, and I love it because. You know, art has all types of mediums. So like, but what was the? You're like, let me do it at the same time.
It really started maybe in 2019. So like before then, when I started painting, I was in a rap group that was like punk rap. So we like did a lot of mosh pit stuff and everything. So like, it didn't make sense for me to like bridge both of the worlds. So I was like, Perry Paints over here that does the pretty watercolor stuff, and then Perry Paints evolved in Sleep Steady, and we do like mosh pit music. So we were like doing that. I would be doing a bunch of like live painting events. So like I was already like known in the city as like the live painter, and then doing these shows. So when I split from the group, and I was doing solo stuff. I was just always trying to think of ways to make my live shows just bigger production.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I think one day I was just kicking with the homies with live painting, and I was just goofing around, just rapping some songs and stuff. And I was like, oh, that'd be tight if I just tried it and then just see what happens if I just do my whole set and just paint while I'm doing it. And I had an album coming out in 2019, so I was like, I'm going to try it then. This would be the perfect time to try it. I got like the whole city of Seattle talking about me right now. Got a newspaper talking about me, like, let's get it.
You were popping for real.
Yeah, I was top of game at that point. So I was like, let's fucking go. And it really worked out. It hella worked out.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I kind of just did more and more. I haven't done it like really big here because most of my sets here are like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like when I go to Seattle or I do a show in LA, it's like an hour long set. So, there's way more time to paint. I had one friend who used to spin lights and stuff like that, like the fire and everything. But of course, we can't do fire indoors, but she would like do a little light show. She would spin and stuff. I'd have my friends come in there with certain songs. I would like try my hardest to make it the biggest production I could with just off the art money. So
that's so crazy. So I know that one thing Jesus said like full time, or first thing he said about you was that like Perry's full time. Yeah. And that's a flex. Yeah. That's really a flex in the creative world. And were you doing it like full time in Seattle? Yeah.
So I've been since 2016. That's when I've been doing it full time.
So I'm curious to know because I'm not too familiar with the music scene, business wise. Yeah. And I've been hearing stuff like music is like hard to make money in, and just like, maybe art in general, to be honest, it can be really hard to make money. So what worked best for you? I guess even in Seattle too, like...
the first thing that's worked best for me just career-wise is placements and syncing. So that was like the video game stuff I've gotten. Those played pretty good.
What was that, Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk. 4 or 5 songs on there. And then 2 songs on UFC's EA Sports UFC 2, and then Atlanta, and I got like 2 other commercials for like New Balance, Maybelline, and something else. Okay, so those pay nice, and those keep the resume and keep that going.
Really, is that like a royalty thing, like over time?
It depends. Most of the time, it's like either like work for hire stuff. Like I've done stuff where, especially when I was younger, I would definitely do this a little different, but it'd be like $500, $1,000 a verse, and like when I'm 25 or whatever, it's like, damn, I could just make 4 bands in like 2 hours real quick and then go home. But then sometimes that's happened where like I did that, and then 3-4 years later I found out, oh shit, one of those songs is on Cyberpunk, and I could have leveraged way
more money. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then like live shows, I make a lot of money at live shows just because everyone wants to see the painting and all that stuff. Totally. So like festivals. Then merch. Yep. That's a big ticket for any artist. You know what I'm saying? Once you can get merch covered, like you can make a lot. The money's endless when it comes to merch. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So those 3 things. Teaching. I teach on the side.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do that a lot. Where I'll do like mural programs where I like teach kids how to do murals, how to size them up, brainstorming, how to price them right. Other stuff where we like teach them how to write songs. Or I teach them how to put their own galleries together, just a bunch of class, or just like a straight up watercolor class.
Totally.
You know, so. This is my clothes. These are my paintings. Let's get some raps, man.
And one thing I've noticed about you is like you are your own marketing team. Yeah. And you do it really well though. Like you do a lot of reels, and I'm not on TikTok, but I'm pretty sure you do a bunch of TikToks too. Yeah. And you just always have stuff like in the making, and like I guess like how does that even look like? Like I know there's like a lot of different transitions because like you take music seriously, you take your art serious, but like now taking my social media serious, that's another thing. You know, like that takes like the longest consistency, and
it's probably my least favorite part of it. Like naturally, I just do a lot of stuff. I'm really just silly and say crazy things, so like it's easier on that part of it. Yeah, but like.
You be funny on there.
I be wildin'.
You be like, bruh.
See you outside with this People gonna see you outside with this, and I guarantee you somebody buying you dinner. I guarantee you somebody buying you dinner. Someone gonna walk past you and be like, damn, I just moaned a little, homie. You feel me? There gonna be someone you just run up on you, be like, let me get that. You might get robbed for this. I don't want to say that. That's
and I just love just telling stories of just funny people I just meet outside. Like, people are ridiculous.
Totally. We gotta talk about one of those for sure, but keep going.
What was I saying though?
You're talking about just marketing, social media marketing.
Because I really don't like, besides like humor, I don't really fuck with social media.
Okay.
So like that's the hardest part for myself, is knowing how to keep myself motivated doing it. But I like really try to stay like authentic to like who I am. You know, like if I'm gonna do this stuff, it'll be stuff that I want to watch, stuff that I think is funny, like stuff that I think is worth trying to do stuff for. And just like I said, it'll be tied to me actually trying to sell something.
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm going to make a TikTok, there's going to be a link that's going to be involved with this or something. I'm just not going to be making content. Because I do hate that part so much. It's like, damn, content after content after content. Some days I just want to say stupid shit on the internet.
Yeah, it's not that deep.
You know,
like, but when was that, like, when were you like, okay, I'm going to post every day and market and...
That's kind of always been there, I guess. Cause
really?
like,
okay.
I've always been an internet kid. You know, like even me being 33, like I have been on the internet since I was like 10. You know, like my dad was really tech guy, so we were like one of the first kids on the block with internet and like LimeWire and shit. So like
LimeWire, shout out LimeWire.
It's like always just being hip to like the newest apps are coming out, seeing that stuff, watching so many people make it online and everything. And like I already do hella shit, so that was like my first thought process was like, man, you already do hella shit. All you have to do is just record yourself doing hella shit. It's not like you're forcing yourself to do this just to get the content off. Like, you're a walking content, like go do that type of thing. So, but that's what's also hard. It's like I like living in the moment, so like trying to capture everything to me just doesn't feel as authentic. So
I get that.
Like goes. But like, so I would like paint every day. I really was like hell bent on being like a really good watercolorist. You know, like I wanted to be like, besides looking past the black art stuff, like, nah, this nigga can like watercolor type shit. So like I would see like an athlete. So it was like I'll wake up every morning and I'd paint for an hour every day. Yeah. And at one point I was like, why not just record it? And it's like, because you're getting better, you're getting that content off, and then you have also a finished piece of artwork that you can make more content off and all this type of stuff. So it's just trying to find ways to work smarter with like actually getting better within my craft.
Yeah.
You know,
So I'm finding that like you're a very disciplined person.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like in the creative world that can be super hard to do. And like, and not just about your own craft, right? But just like other stuff that you have to deal with, you know, like even business stuff or like promoting it and stuff. Do you have other people, like other support groups that like keep you motivated and be like, yeah?
I have a manager. I do have a manager. He stays in Seattle. He just had a baby, so he's been
okay.
But I've always kind of been very self-motivated. So he's just a really good buffer for me to do stuff, like to get out of my head when it comes out of artist stuff, you know, because there's so many times where I'm like, I'm over social media, I'm over this.
Yeah.
I'm going to just live on the farm and not do any of this. He'll be like, nah, bro, you know, you really are an artist. You know, give it affirmation stuff, or like, when it's time for me to be an asshole, he gets to be the asshole. You know what I'm saying? So that helps with even my like overall look of stuff, and then like not ruffling feathers with business, all that type of stuff. And then like does Atlanta placements. That was definitely through him and stuff. So
cool.
He definitely does his part there. And then like just my creative friends, like my producers or like my therapists. You know what I mean? Like
they're all from Seattle, right?
Yes. Actually, two are from Portland. All from
or Washington.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pacific Northwest, all of my producer friends from
awesome.
there. Like I'm big on doing projects where it's one producer and then we do another one producer, and then like my solo projects are with like all my producers. So like my solo projects to me are like my group chat.
Aww.
And then my collab ones are just with them and shit. So yes, they're always my goddamn therapists. I be complaining to them all the time.
Yeah.
arguing with them all the time.
How'd you meet
making
them?
jokes.
Like, are they like lifelong friends?
Through music, honestly.
Yeah.
All of them through music. Just appreciation for it, being in the studio at the same time and really like having that discipline or just kind of love for it and shit.
Yep.
So, you know, and that's what they know for me for sure is I'm going to get shit done. Even if we're just working for 30 minutes, I'm going to find something to get done.
Yeah, totally.
Even if we're fucked up, drunk, I'm going to get something done.
Yep. The discipline is there.
You know what I'm saying? So.
What do you have like in your mind, like when you do all these like new things, like new albums, like what is your, I guess like your end goal? Like what motivates you? Like, I got to do this because I got to be here.
Man, that's a really good question. Man. I don't even really like know. Like to that point, it feels like really spiritual to me at that point.
Yeah.
You know, like
It might be.
because I always joke about like the art gods. I'm not a very religious person, but like if I was to be one, art is my form of that.
Absolutely.
Know? So I
think
feel like sometimes it's just kind of taps and I just know this is what I got to do. Or like just challenging myself to like, you like this type of music, try to make this world, or you have an idea, or like finding the most creative way to express like a time capsule of my life in a sense.
Totally. I think I understand that because like at the end of your career, whenever that happens, like you're going to be like, yo, like I created a bunch of stuff that is so cool. And like, do you even like find yourself like listening to old stuff just to remember?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Well, I have no problem listening to anything from 2016. Pretty much up. Like all that
But
stuff
before
I
is like
know
tough?
It's great. The stuff before then's a little bit more rough.
Yeah.
But it's humbling. It's very humbling.
I love hearing about that. Like when artists are like, my first EP album, I'm like I was cringing at it because that's so real, you know, like you were just trying at that moment, like just to put your stuff out. And
you see a lot of the mimicking you do, the most of like.
Oh, is that like cringy to hear? Like you trying to sound like him so bad?
Yeah, you're trying to get so bad. You had that opinion, you don't believe that no more. Just small shit like that.
Totally.
Like being just an arrogant young person, you know, just standing on stuff you don't know is very cringy at the moment.
Do you think like did your content, did the content of your music change a lot over time?
Definitely. When I was in the punk band, it was all aggressive, kind of like
all future.
Yeah, like in that sense, but we weren't really. I wasn't myself personally like hanging out with like a bunch of white boys like that and shit, you know. So like we still had that energy, but it was still just black kids. But it just didn't look great. You know?
Yeah,
like just having that type of energy. We were always on some type of drugs, doing some crazy shit. Now my music's just about me traveling and hanging out with a pretty little auntie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like speaking of traveling, I feel like we have to get into like, you know, I not just met you, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, and you're already going and it was like very like last minute. Cause I remember when we booked this podcast, like I'm leaving, but I was thinking like, you know, you're just going to go for a month or two.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. And then it was like, this event is my last event ever in Vegas. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, what are you talking about? So I want to know like that moment that you were like, I just want to go back home. And I know you're going to take on like a whole new lifestyle. So talk about those things.
Oh man. It's like, it was kind of already in the process. So, I would say around the pandemic started, I was taking like a lot of road trips and just doing stuff. It's at this point, 2019 was like the highest peak of my career. Like I'm like the guy back home at the moment doing the festivals, all that stuff. So I just said I was doing this full time. I had hella more time to do shit. I was always kind of popping on the internet. So like I've always had like even a situation with like a woman kind of online and stuff. So if I'm like in LA, I go hang out with somebody, have a good time. I'll be like in like Vegas. So I was like always kind of just traveling already. So it was like, man, I've always wanted to just live that life. Like you ain't got no kids, you got a wife. Like why can't you just do it? You mean like everyone talks about they wish they could do this, like just do it then, you know? And if it's from like music and art, that's just how I've always realized. And I tell people like the difference from people who really do it and who don't is like they really do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't just talk about it. Like, even when they're failing, they're just doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Eventually, like, that's all they do. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it just seems like you just gonna jump, bro. You make all your money on the internet. You do this stuff. So, like, for a while, I would say just go here, stay with a girl for a little bit. Or my mom moved. I go help my mom move, stay there, just peep it out for a while. So I was like, man, fuck it. I'm about to just live in Vegas. Let's see how this shit just goes.
Yep.
Moved to Vegas, and then immediately after that, I started getting booked for hella shit in Seattle.
Oh, wow. You're like,
damn. Seattle for like 2 months.
Okay.
To the point where, like, some people don't even know I moved. You know, like, for the last 6 months, people are like, you lived in Vegas? I was like, yeah.
Like, why you still here, bro?
You're like, oh, I just thought you was just visiting or something. You
Totally.
know? So I was just back and forth, and I'd be like in LA for a week. So I was just living like that for a while. And then I was like, man, I need to really stay in Vegas and like make me some money. Like, I'm tired of traveling back to Seattle to make the money than coming here.
Yep.
I'd rather travel to some other places. Love Seattle, but it was just like, I already feel like I've done that on some other shit. But like, the money wasn't really like flourishing and neat to the way it has to here. You know what I'm saying? I was getting cool stuff like Graffiti Park and Vibe Studios and whatnot, but I just wasn't feeling the spaces the way I wanted to. So I was like, man, I got to figure something out, because like, you do this full time. So like, I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to get a bigger place. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I got to make some more money, do all that shit. So I was like, man, you might just need to go home for a little bit, do some teaching, do some more shows,
stack
it up, money, you know, because
Yep.
everybody back home's telling you, bro, just come home. Like, if you come home, you'd really be the one, bro. Like, they're almost confused. Like, I don't know why you in Vegas even entertaining that. Like, just come the fuck home. So I was like, but I really don't want to. And everyone's known I've always talked about this farm shit for a very long time. I've always been like, my goal is to escape to like Costa Rica or something. And every year, maybe pop up like 3-4 months, do some art music shit, and then disappear again. So I was just like having that conversation, telling my friends like, man, my lease is about to be up. I don't really want to get tied into another apartment out here. It's like, I just need to figure some shit out. And he was like, bro, I got this farm. He said, you can just come work here. You know what I'm saying? I got you and everything. And I was like, fuck. Yeah, let's do it. And that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Where's the farm?
You know, it's Snohomish. It's about 30 minutes out of Seattle.
Okay, so it's still in Washington. That's really sweet.
So I'll be there. So I still get to see my friends. Like I said, I got events and stuff going on next month anyway. But like, I just wanted a more fun day-to-day thing. Like, I have no problem even being in Vegas and like doing events, but it's like, this is not where I want to be every day though.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. And like,
I love it here. That was cool.
Yeah. You have to come back.
I'll be here for sure.
Okay, for sure. Cause I'm just like, bro, like, hello. You better come back.
Every day. You know what I mean?
No. And that's regular anyway. Yeah, he was already traveling.
And that's why I said to Shorty, was like, man, I'll always be gone. Like, I've technically maybe been here 8-9 months out of the 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah,
totally.
Half of it has not even been here. It's just like, I've been paying rent on a place I barely stay at and shit.
Totally. With that farm life, like a farm like with animals and stuff.
And they got goats. They got chickens.
I feel like you're gonna like have this spiritual awakening there. It's gonna be so like bad. You're gonna come out and like be so peaceful.
Yeah,
you know,
be so
excited. Like the animals. You're gonna know how to like
apple trees. They got all that shit.
I feel like your music's gonna probably change too.
Definitely.
That's crazy.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
And that's for how long? What are you doing that for?
So I'm gonna be the one in Seattle for like 3-4 months
on the farm.
Kind of getting things
that'll be cool
figured out, and then that's why I want to do that program where I just kind of travel to different farms throughout the country and world and just see what happens. Like, of course, like I'm business oriented in some sense, so it's like if I know I got some shows and stuff I got to do in Houston, I'll just pull up at a farm that's close to what I got to be at. You know what I mean?
Wow, that is such a flex.
Shit, and then just go do my little art shit.
Like, where's the nearest farm? That's a venue. That is so cool. Like, I'm excited to just hear that. I know that you're.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you too, because I think like those kind of things are so like you're called to it at a certain time in your life. Like I'm sure like it didn't happen for a long time for a reason.
Yeah.
So now like whatever you're called for, and there's a like literally your friend hit you up like I got a place, like go for it, go do it. I know that you have a lot of music already on the way this year. Yeah. And I think you didn't have music for like 3 years or something, right?
Yeah, the last project I put out was in 2020.
Yeah. So like, I would like to know what happened in those 3 years. Like, of course, I'm sure you were still working, but like, what was it like? I want to take my time for their new era. What did that look like?
So it was like I said, coming off of 2019, everything was going really, really great. And me and my homie Old Milk decided we're gonna make a project.
Old Milk is like an all, like, real quick, that which one is that one? Like the one that Customs on?
Oh, great.
And I say Old Milk.
So he put so for the 2019 album, that's the solo album. So it's got 12 local producers on there. So it's like 12 of my friends who all made a bunch of songs and stuff. And then with Gray, it's only Old Milk that produced everything. So like that was kind of the purpose of it, was all right, I did this project with like everybody in the community. You know, so I got all the producers, all the rap friends are on it. We're all from Seattle, Tacoma area. It's like, so then with Gray, I'm gonna just do it just with Old Milk. And that was for me like a flex of, I'm gonna just work with one producer and we'll make all this complete different type of music, all that stuff. And it went really well. It's my biggest streamed project, but it like came out the same day that they did the Black Squares Don't Listen to Spotify protest on the internet.
Oh, wow. You were like, what?
Yeah, so I was already knowing, like, what does this even mean? How does this help my black ass? You know what I'm saying?
Not the black artist being like, that's crazy. Yeah, you feel me? Like, I'm like, y'all not helping me at all. Like,
we're not gonna listen to Spotify because you guys aren't paying black artists, and then we're gonna post this Black Square and I post about music today, and I was like, but like black art's the biggest export in America. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. If you blocking that, then like, how are we gonna be out here?
You should be listening twice as much today, guys.
That's interesting. I like we can definitely go on that. I like the topic, but
yeah, I was very upset.
Yeah.
But then so like the pandemic happened, so then we weren't doing any more live shows. We weren't doing any of that. So I was just chilling. You know what I mean? It was like live shows and stuff, how I made my money. Teaching was how I made my money. I wasn't doing really shit. So it was like, fuck, I'm going to just work on some music, just kind of hang out. I was going through a breakup at the same time.
It was a tough time.
Yeah, very tough times. And then I was just like, man, fuck it. That sounds like I'm going to just move around. Like, I'm just see some stuff. There's nothing really going on. I'm not missing shit. Like, so I can't do shows. I can't teach. Nobody's working. So like, this is the perfect time to kind of just see what places you really fuck with.
Yeah.
Like that kind of just started happening. Started making hella music. Got back into skateboarding. I haven't skateboarded since I was like 10. So I was like, fuck it. I live in Vegas. It's flat.
Oh, you just got back into it? Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Like 20 years.
That is so sweet, because I remember that story of you just like skating at the park. And I was like, that's so sweet. Like, or you said something like, did you mention something about like, you know, it's a white boy thing or something?
Yeah.
You probably got that a lot, huh, growing up?
Yeah, especially that. It was like 99, 2000. So
yeah.
Like, white boys didn't do that at all.
That's so tough.
You know, like, and my family's from the streets. Like,
I
was kind of cool and protective. But like, when I go and hang out with my Asian white friends, we as a collective are like the skaters, so I have to deal with all that bullshit. But like, when I'm by myself skating, it was never really a problem.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was just always questions. Like, so why do you like to skateboard? And I played basketball too, so I was just dumb that people just like, I still do that black shit. But.
Yeah. So was that like hard growing up? Like, I guess finding your space, you know?
Kind of, yes and no. Because I did hella shit, I had a lot of friend groups. So like, I wasn't popular.
So you got hate, but you got love too.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, when I'm kicking with the skateboarders, it's, you know, pair this, but then all the hoopers just like, look at this nigga over here doing this shit. And
yeah.
Hoop. They go, oh, he can hoop. All right. And then the skaters like, look at this pose. You mean like, all of that shit. So it's like, but there'd be times like hard to reflect with any other person because they weren't doing that type of shit. You know what I mean? It was like, cool, I can bond with my music friends, but they don't do any of the other shit I do. So I have to go hang out with these people, go do that. But then they don't do any of the other interests I do. So it was like always jumping friend groups to friend groups and shit. And that shit can get exhausting as fuck.
I totally get that.
You know, but it helped with that, just promoting stuff and people just knowing everything. Or even that too, you realize like if it's not within that space, they don't really recognize it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking too was like none of my music friends know I do any of this other shit because it's not a part of their world.
Yeah.
So when they bring it up, it's like, oh, this nigga's just whatever. You know what I mean? So it'd be like my rap friends are like, oh, I heard he does art, but you know, I don't really know if it's tight or not. You know?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh shit,
That's
he is.
tough.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you know, I'm tight at this thing. Right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah.
not expect me to be okay at this. So.
So did you have like did you always have confidence in your stuff, or like did those comments kind of hurt a little bit in the beginning?
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say even like just hurt. It was just more just annoying.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like damn, like that's what it was. Is confidence can come off very like arrogant sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just like the way that people would even say some of those things. Like, man, you confidently were just like disrespectful within that. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really even just hurt my feelings. But like, the reason you have the audacity to even like ask like that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people even get into like people's certain like sexual preferences, it's like it's really balls of you just ask those questions. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, but it don't really affect me. But like, you walk around doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Did you lose a lot of friends?
nah, just because
Okay.
I'm really communicative.
Oh, so you're just like, don't say that shit. Try that again. We're not doing this no more.
Doing that shit no more.
Okay,
And, like,
cool.
I got a dark sense of humor. I goofy
Yeah.
and laugh and shit, so it was just really easy. But like, I would say shit like that just because, you know, it's like just because you fuck with me, it's like you still feel that way. Even you feel that way about black people, but you're like, no, it's different because you, Perry. It's like, but nah, don't do that, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, respect all people. Right? It's just a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
So I grew up around a lot of like gay and bi people too.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah,
people
Washington.
automatically thought I was gay and bi, so I had to also just. And it was, I was like, I'm super straight. You know, it's just like seeing that was just always like, man, this is interesting. Just seeing just how if you're not a part of certain worlds, or if you are, how people just really will box you very, very fast.
Yeah.
So it's like it didn't really bother me, but it was just always interesting to me. Like I really enjoyed that. Like, man, this is like a psychology class.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you find it like to be like different when you moved around?
Yeah, definitely. Like when I would leave Seattle, when I would like go to LA and Dallas, I knew how much more my music, my art was received better.
Yeah.
And then when I go to Seattle, my music's received better. Or like,
Okay.
even that, it was realizing the boxes kind of everywhere still, but some boxes work better in different cities for me. You know.
Also, isn't Washington like predominantly white?
Yeah. So pretty much, if you're not in Seattle to Tacoma, that's where all the black and people of color
In Tacoma.
Yeah, very.
Okay, shout out to Tacoma.
Tacoma is like big.
Because like, I'm like, I don't know. Like I remember I went to Oregon for school and like there was nobody there. Nobody black there. Like I think 3 of us.
Black, but like they're all pretty much. Once you know one black person in Portland,
Yeah,
all
like
of them.
that's really it. So that's cool to know that Tacoma's like more black.
Like
Is there a history behind that?
a little bit. So one of the biggest, I think the biggest Black Panther chapter was in South Seattle.
Wow.
So South Seattle is also
That's crazy.
Was South Seattle in the 90s was the most dominant black spot in Washington.
That's
And
cool.
then, of course, some of them got pushed down to California, to Tacoma, and then people in the Bay Area also came a lot from Tacoma.
Wow.
So there is a lot of rich black culture there. It's just those two cities, and then the rest of Washington is just trees and country.
Yes. Very pretty.
Yeah.
Totally.
Very, Twilight, all that type of shit. Very pretty shit, but there's really small pockets. Really, really small pockets. But,
Yeah. So,
and everyone's really tight. Some of my
Yeah.
favorite artists come from
who are your favorite artists?
Ugly Frank. He's one of my favorite
Okay.
rappers. Great rapper. That dude is a phenomenal rapper. Blake Anthony. He's more of a transplant, but he claims Tacoma.
Okay, cool.
Fucking great. Christina. She goes by So Trill on Instagram. She's a painter. She's like
Amazing.
everyone loves her. She does paintings for like basketball players' wives, and she's done stuff for the White House.
Is she big time?
She's huge.
Hell yeah.
A painter, Chris Jordan. A lot of dope people that have like done national, international level success, but they're just from Washington, so people don't really.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask that too. Like, I will rep Las Vegas everywhere I go, no matter people. Like, everyone's always hating on it too. I feel like a little, like I'm like, it's the best city in the world, and they're like, The whole
I love
world?
that though, because hella people don't be doing that.
That's what I'm saying, but I can respect that you love Tacoma so much, and you just said something like, since it's from Washington, nobody really care. Like, how is that received when people say you're from Tacoma? And I think you're proud about it. Like I think you have. I've seen something of you wearing a Tacoma jacket recently. I don't know where that's
my
from.
My friends.
It was an album cover, single cover or something.
My friends run a streetwear shop out there called ETC.
Okay.
And they're like
shout out ETC.
They're like the hundreds of Tacoma, if we're talking like streetwear and shit.
Okay.
Well, I think Umi used to actually work for hundreds.
Shout out Umi. I've been hearing about Umi a lot lately.
Yeah, he's the dude, man. If you ever go to Tacoma, definitely tap with him and he will get you right.
Okay.
I'm saying, but like I take so much rep in Tacoma. When I tell people I'm from there, or like I'm from Tacoma, but like the small part of Tacoma is called Spanaway. Mm-hmm. That's like where I'm actually.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
The country part of Tacoma.
Yeah.
But when I tell people I'm from Tacoma, they just be like, "Where the fuck is that at?"
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Seattle. Like, I think I've heard of that before.
Yeah.
Like Washington D.C. No.
Like the
Washington State. Like
Seattle. They're like, what? There's a state, Washington.
Damn.
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough.
I've showed people my music who's been outside of Washington, because everybody automatically thinks my music's gonna be corny because I'm a painter. That's another thing.
Okay, that's funny.
But I'll play your music and they be like, "Oh shit, this shit's tight." I didn't think people from Washington would make tight music.
Ooh,
and it's just like, because it's Macklemore and Sir Mix-a-Lot. Nothing against Sir Mix-a-Lot. I love Sir Mix-a-Lot. But
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
like in the rap game.
Yeah,
it's a little tough.
Karaoke top picks for white people.
Yeah,
rappers, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
was that like hard in the beginning? Like, are you the kind to be like, go to LA, Las Vegas, and be like, I'm from Tacoma. I don't really care how you feel about it. Okay, cool.
And my thing too is like, I also am like, I'm in your city, so like I don't want to be the king of your city. Like, yeah, I'm from Tacoma. Oh, you're from here, dope. If you love your city, show me around. Show me the people here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got on one dude about that here. He got really, really mad at me. Because I was just like, I felt like I was telling him, like, I don't feel like enough people here like really rap Vegas. Like, this is their shit.
That's facts. You know I mean? That's definitely facts.
And I was like, I came here rapping where I come from, and so I was like, and I've been able, because I am talented. I was like, I've been able to make strides here. While I've been like wondering like who does this, who's trying to make some shit happen. And I've met people like yourself and others. It's like, but man, I've met a few people, and he just like took offense to it because he's one of those people. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, take pride in here, bro. If somebody here like asks you about connections and do stuff, like just tell them you don't know who like raps here. Is like helping you, like, you know what I'm saying, solidify here. Like, know places to eat at, know places to go shop at. You know, like know your city for real a little bit. And I just see like he wasn't doing that. I was like, man.
So wait, what are you saying? He was from here, but wasn't repping shit?
Yeah, he was a rep, but he was like, I still think it's tight here. I don't think you should be disrespected. And I was like, I'm not disrespecting you, bro. You know, I was like,
you're disrespecting it.
Yeah, you're doing it, man.
Yeah.
He was just, not having it.
It's definitely a weird culture here because definitely growing up, you're supposed to kind of hate Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm too young to be in the casinos, blah, 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 blah. Oh,
like,
yeah?
We have like a lot of the kids, a lot of the youth, we have this like disrespect almost for like, even though the local guys are like, this the Macklemore, mix a lot of stuff. We just like, oh, them niggas is corny. Us new niggas, we have to be the ones. Yeah. And then we find out what the system of the city and the culture is. You know, then you realize you're at 30 local artist type shit. You mean you're almost the artist you used to talk shit about.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't take pride in being from Tacoma or Seattle. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think it's trash. People don't do very well, so they blame the rest of the city for them not doing very well.
I feel that too.
It's a lot of that. And that's like why I was even saying too. It's like, that's why I kind of left in the same sense. You know what I mean? It was like, it was just hard to do black art shit. So I wanted to be proudly able to do some black art shit somewhere, you know what I mean? Instead of it being, oh, there's not black people here, so like, fuck this place.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's us, nigga.
Yeah. And, you know what I mean? And I can really respect that too because, I feel like everyone, wherever you're born, like rep that because like there's no other place like it.
And it made you who you are, whether you
absolutely
believe it or not. Like if you think you're tight, then your city must be tight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like you didn't grow up in Chicago, man. Like you learned these cool things from your neighbors and shit. You
totally. Know? And it's like there's like a bond with other people from there and stuff. And so I think I can't be mad. And I even said this to people, like, I talked to Dustin and my girlfriend and about you leaving. And I was just like, I can't be mad though, because he's going back home. You know, like I understand going to another city and maybe I'm like, I want to go back to Vegas. I love Vegas. Like I'm always going to have a love for it and I'm always going to talk well of it. And sometimes like if your art is like, so I guess like, what's the word? Like established there, you know, like I totally get if you want to go back there and like have a little regroup and go. I know you're going to travel more anyway.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
For sure. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I feel like you're going to go, but you're probably going to come somewhere else again. Be like, I want to go to Atlanta.
I would definitely be moving around. Seattle is only going to be like a 3-4 month.
It's okay. Hold on. Before, I want to get into like the future stuff, but like what do you think could be the next city you would stay at? Not LA, not Seattle, not Vegas.
It would not be Vegas. I would still visit here. You know, I still have connections. But LA, I feel like it's too. I would have like some really, really good business opportunities. Would have to make me move to LA, but it would probably be Dallas or Houston.
Okay, Texas. I had someone from Dallas here yesterday.
The end of the year, I'll be living in Texas.
Okay.
So I am just living.
I'll totally visit you in Texas. 100% I'll visit you in Texas. I love Texas.
Is to be like local legend in just every city. I don't need to be like internationally famous. Just know every city I'm in, I'm cool.
Like Perry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's him on the wall over there. He was here last month.
Yeah.
Totally. To wrap it up, I want you to talk about like what's coming up for the year for you. But I want to say that it was a great time while you were here. You were a pleasure to be around, and I loved seeing your art in real time. I loved hearing your music. I became a fan of your music. Ask Adia, ask Amira, my girlfriend, her little sister. I be singing your stuff all the time. I'm like, I'm custom. I swear, like. And, you know, I have a hoodie. I'm super excited about that. And we still have work together. Yep. There's a little video we're going to make together, and I'm still super excited about that. That's like my first chance of that type of stuff. I'm not going to like say it right now, but yeah, like you gave me a lot of opportunities as well. And I don't know, I will always appreciate you. If you ever,
we got more coming.
If you're ever here, LA, wherever, like, just like hit me up and we'll do something. But any last things you want to mention?
Dropped a new album in May. Chariot is produced entirely by Belugs from Tacoma. It features, I think, everybody from Tacoma. I think there might be one artist who's not. But it's like a love note to Tacoma. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful, beautiful project. I've been sitting on it for like 2 years. People have been hitting my line, when you go and drop that. People be pressing me, so it's finally coming out.
Okay.
You know and then Black Boy Joy, that is the album that I have been lazily, very meticulously, I don't even know the word for it, but I've been sitting with it, fine-tuning it for the last 2 years. It's my follow-up to the Bobby Ross 2019 project.
It's a beautiful
baby.
I heard a few of them and they were beautiful.
It's my baby.
Yeah, totally get that.
And then the project with Keys that we produced out here. You know, so we got a whole Vegas project. It's probably come out at the end of the year.
3 albums.
You know, we going crazy.
Tacoma album, Vegas album. I'm excited for the Vegas album.
Worldly album, yeah.
What's the other one?
So there's got the Tacoma, we got Vegas, and then Black Boy Joy is my Worldly album.
Worldly, I love that. I love that so much. All right, well,
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.